Hello and welcome to the podcast on celebrating life. In a world that moves fast and measures success in numbers, we often forget something deeply important. We are not just here to perform, but to live. Beneath every role and title is a human being experiencing life in real time. Today, as part of Ambrosian Voices of Well-Being, we invite you to pause and explore what it truly means to celebrate life, even at work. I'm very happy to introduce Mr. Jitendra Agarwal, President, Essentials BU of Lakshmi Organic Industries Limited, who is a seasoned business leader with over 32 years of multi-dimensional experience across chemicals, packaging, and industrial product sectors. He currently heads 2000 plus crore global essential business unit in chemicals, holding full P&L responsibility and leading a cross-functional executive board with deep expertise across sales, finance, operation, sourcing, supply chain, and strategy. Jiten brings a rare blend of commercial acumen and leadership, complemented by strong international exposure in business. Welcome, Jitendra, to our first podcast of the year 2026.
Thank you, Michelle. It's really a pleasure to be in conversation with you on such an interesting topic. Thank you for inviting me.
Great. So, when we talk about celebrating life, Jitendra, what does that truly mean beyond birthdays, milestones, and social media highlights?
See, look, my way of looking at life is that first of all, I consider that life to the mankind is the most precious gift. So we are fortunate to having taken birth in this beautiful world. So therefore, there is a reason behind it, and that brings certain obligation upon us to find the purpose of our life, right? So then once we identify the purpose of life, it guides us how do we live life. When it comes about celebration, it's a journey which starts with the birth and ends at death, and it brings a mixed bag. It's a whole package. So you have the cheerful moments, and at times you also have to deal with the stressful moment. So it's not about picking and choosing, it's about taking the whole package together and deal with it in joyful moment, appreciate and celebrate, and in stressful moment take a pause, understand the reason, reconcile, and accept the reality in life and move on. So that's how about celebrating the life. I take it.
I love how you frame that. It really moves celebration away from the performative and into something much more real. And yet, in most of our lives, especially at work, we seem to keep postponing that kind of joy for some reason. So, in a fast paced work culture, Jiten, why do we often postpone that joy? Telling ourselves we'll do it, or we'll celebrate once things settle down.
I think sometimes it's all about seeking the purpose of life, right? uh, Many times we make some error in understanding the life per se, and rather than enjoying the life as it comes, we create certain milestones. So the focus is more on the destination rather than the journey, and that makes us miss out some of the beautiful moments during the journey which can otherwise be cherished.
Absolutely.
Also, if you look at it otherwise, life also brings a lot of uncertainty.
Mm.
So nobody knows what's going to happen next, right? So although we can, keep our goals, targets, milestones, and we must do that,
Yeah.
but is it really worth waiting for it? And after achieving those goals, do we really enjoy? So many a times, it is the process that one enjoys rather than the results. Because the result is a momentary, the process comes with a lot of endurance.
What you've just described feels so familiar, almost like we've trained ourselves to stay in survival mode.
Mm.
And that makes me wonder about what's happening inside us emotionally when we do that. So, how does emotional well being influence our ability to feel gratitude, wonder, and joy in ordinary life?
So this is an interesting question, Ma'am Shell. This emotional well-being is emotions are such which are very unique to the human being, and every individual's way of expressing or responding to the situation is different, right? So therefore, I connect it with the mindset of the individual, right? So if we are mindful of the situation and we start acknowledging things and appreciating the situation, appreciating the work done by the people, right? And
Hmm.
not only that, we also communicate, then we see life from a different perspective, right? So it breaks away the emotional part, and it also appreciate the other life where the sense of gratitude is conveyed. So how do you give importance to the other person? How do you
Very true.
make it's not just about your life alone, it's about the life of the people with whom you connect, right? And therefore what you share, what you appreciate, and how you communicate with them, then that becomes the essence of emotional well-being, and that not only makes you feel good but also make the other person feel happy about it.
That really highlights, how much our inner world shapes what we experience in the outside with our families, our friends. And when we bring this into the workplace, leaders play such a powerful role in shaping that emotional climate. So, how does culture that notices small wins, personal milestones, and everyday efforts change how people feel about coming to work?
Yeah, so first of all, how one should feel about coming to work. To my mind, one should look forward to coming to work, right? And if I put it conversely, how would I feel if I don't have to go to work, right?
Yeah.
So when we come to work, it gives us an opportunity to contribute towards making the positive impact for the role that we play, for the people that we work with, and also it gives us the opportunity to have social engagement with people, understand them, solve their problem, which can also go beyond work, and that makes the bonding better, it brings the right chemistry. So if we create that kind of an environment, then I think people will stop making distinction between home and office,
Office.
right? So where you start feeling at home at office, that is the culture. And when you go back from the work, you go with the sense of satisfaction, sense of achievement, and having made some meaningful impact.
Yeah, it sounds like when, people are truly noticed and appreciated, like you
Yeah.
said, at work, something really shifts in how safe and open they also feel at work.
Oh yeah, that's as emotional, or better to say the psychological comfort or psychological safety, where people can display their vulnerability.
Yes,
They can open
absolutely.
up. Yeah.
I think this topic is so vast, you can talk a lot, but due to paucity of time, thank you, Jiten, for sharing such thoughtful insights today. This conversation reminds us that celebrating life isn't about waiting for that perfect moment. Like you rightly said, it's about noticing what's already here. And we hope our listeners take a small pause today to acknowledge something meaningful in their own lives. Until next time, this is Ambrosian's Voice of Well-Being, wishing our listeners a great year, and let us consciously make choices to celebrate our life. Thank you, Jiten. That's it from us. Bye bye.
Okay. Thank you, Mamshel. Bye bye.